Hi guys, it's Romina. Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm gonna be doing this super bright and beautiful manicure for the summer. I decided to call them jungle nails, and I'll be using the smoosh technique. So if you don't know what it is, I will show you 4 ways to reach this look. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and let's get started. I'm gonna start with a white polish as a base. You can use a base coat underneath, but this is just an example, so I'm not gonna do it. And then I'll be using a stamper from Twinkle Teeth. You can use my code for 10% off, and I will receive a small commission for that. The first option is just to place some drops of polish on top of your stamper. I'm gonna mix 3 colors, but you can mix as many as you want, and then just dab it on top of your nail with the stamper. So you can fill all the white space with the color, and they're gonna mix together in a random way, so that's gonna give you that look of a background that is very interesting and also very colorful. And here's the result. So we have the 3 colors we use, but also we have the mix of them. Then we can just clean the stamper and go to the second option, which is basically doing the same thing, placing drops of nail polish but directly on top of your nail. And then you can just grab your stamper and start dabbing onto your nail until you reach that combination of color that you're looking for. If you happen to see that maybe the color is getting too dark or too light, you can just add more color on the stamper and again stamp those parts. Then option 3, we can just place some drops and a fair amount of polish on a silicone mat, and then with the stamper just press it down like a couple of times until we get that onto the stamper, and then we just dab it on the nail, the same technique that we used before. And here's what it looks like. It's kind of the same thing. And then with what's left on the mat, we have a 4th option, which is making a decal. So don't mind my top coat here because it's terrible to make decals, but you get the idea. So when it's completely dry, you can just use a cuticle pusher and some tweezers to take it off the mat, and then you can cut a piece of the decal big enough to fit your nail. And I'm gonna be applying a coat of the Orly Bonder to make sure that the surface is sticky, and then I will place it on top of my nail. You can use your fingers, you can use a stamper to press it down, or you can use a silicone tool. So you can cut the excess also with some scissors, and this is what it looks like. And here we have the result of our 4 examples. I applied a top coat just to even out the surface and make a smooth finish. So I always use this technique when I don't want to do something too complicated and I just want to stamp something with one color, so you can make your background very interesting so your stamping can be simple. In this case, I'm stamping palm trees. This is a manicure that I did a while ago and a lot of people like it, so this is how I did it. And you can see how the mix of the colors is changing in every nail, but you can control that with your colors. Here's the manicure that I did a while ago. In this case, I mixed between 5 and 6 colors, so that's why it looks so colorful. And this is what it looks like under daylight. Now moving on to my manicure for today, I'm going to be applying my base coat first. I'm using the Peel Off base coat from UNT, and then I'll be applying my base color, in this case white, but you can also use the lightest shade that you're going to use in your mix later. This is going to help your colors really pop when you put them on top, so it's very important that you have a light shade underneath. Then I'll be applying liquid latex around my nails because this technique, as you saw, it could be messy. And I'll be mixing CeirColors High Society. I'll be using Orly Neon Paradise, Orly Plastic Jungle, and Essie Off Tropic. So I'm gonna place some drops on top of my stamper. This is Maniology Ice Cube stamper, and I'm just gonna make sure to cover all the stamper with some drops and put them in a random way. Then I'm just gonna press it down on my nail. In this case, it's gonna be the pinky, and you're gonna do this until you reach the color that you want. So if you see that the color is too dark or too light, you can just apply a little bit more in your stamper and fill those spots in. So what I like to do is just clean up with a cleanup brush and then just press it down a little bit with your finger, very gentle, just to make sure that the coat is accommodating to your nail shape. So if the coat is too thick, you're gonna see when you dab it a little bit with your finger, the borders are gonna get overloaded with this polish and you can easily clean it up. Then I will remove the liquid latex and I will do a little bit of cleanup with a cleanup brush. This is number 4 from WhatsApp Nails and it's very old, but I like it because it's very thin. So you can see how the excess on your nail can get into the brush and you can remove it. So this is a part important of the process before continuing, and then you can just dab into your nails again to even out the surface and to also fill out any white spots that are left on your nail. And I applied a second coat on my ring finger just because I thought it was too light. And I'll be repeating the same process in my index and my thumb just to make sure that all the colors are well mixed together. And then I will remove the liquid latex and clean up a little bit with a cleanup brush. So this part is very important. It's always better to clean up the excess while the polish is still wet, so it's gonna be easier. Then I'll be applying a coat of the Good To Go. This is a dry fast top coat just to get the smooth finish and just an even surface to work with. And I'll be cleaning it up with another brush that I highly recommend you. This is the Twinkle Tea number 2, one of my favorites. Before I stamp, I'm gonna apply again the liquid latex in my middle finger and my ring finger just to make sure that I don't have to clean up too much after. And I'll be using the WhatsApp Nails B018 stamping plate with this design. Also, the Maniology Straight Up Black. If you're interested on these products, you can use my code TINY10 for 10% off on Maniology. So I'm gonna stamp just with black. The idea of having a background that is super colorful is that you can do a simpler stamp. So if you don't have time to do reverse stamping and all of that, you can totally do that and you're gonna have a super interesting background, and the stamping can be just one figure, super simple. Now for my index and my pinky nail, I'll be doing a small change. So I'll be using the same design, but with this tool. It's basically a dotting tool with a piece of Scotch tape wrapped in the tip. I'm just gonna remove all the design that I'm not gonna need for this nail. So I just want to stamp 2 branches in each of the nails, and here it is. And for my thumb, I'll be using the full nail design that I also use in my middle finger and the ring finger. Then I'll be applying a coat of the Maniology Smudge Free Top Coat to avoid any smudge of the black nail polish. What I do is just to let it dry a little bit before I put the top coat on, just to make sure that it's completely dry. Then I will apply a coat of the Fast Dry Top Coat to get that shiny, smooth finish in all my nails. Last step, as always, applying cuticle oil, and here's the final result. I think it looks absolutely beautiful. I love the combination of these colors. If you're a beginner or if you don't know what to do with your nails, this could be a great idea just to start with a nice background, and then you can decide if you want to stamp on it or maybe not. And if you do a stamp, it could be a simple one. It doesn't have to be too complicated. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave it a thumbs up, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!